Hello, John Paval here with Access Arts Live, the weekend update. We have so much going on to tell you about this weekend, from blockbuster concertos to very traditional intimate string quartets to cross-cultural duos to the latest new music being improvised in Chicago, by the way, as we watch and listen. Never before played by earnest, ambitious, soulful young composers and artists. So first I want to tell you, if you have not been following Access Arts Live, if you have not subscribed to us yet on YouTube especially, or on Facebook, here's the kind of things you missed. A terrific piano recital by Ronan McGill, live streamed by Music at St. Mary's Perryval on Tuesday afternoon in London. He played Beethoven's Hammerklavier Sonata so well that I loved it. And I don't like Beethoven sonatas. I don't like sonatas in general, but that one I loved. Then on Thursday, St. Mary's was back with this young married couple of highly talented young musicians, Anna and Milos Milivojevic from Serbia, but they're living in London now. And Anya plays the violin, Milos plays the accordion. They were doing all these pieces which ordinarily would be for piano and violin, but they really work well. Milos, by the way, won all these kinds of awards at the Royal College of Music, which ordinarily are never won by accordion players. And then on Wednesday, Town Hall Seattle was live streaming the acknowledged master of Hindustani classical music on the Hindustani slide guitar, Debussy-Busoni. And that was free of charge. And on Thursday, we're not done, the Gotham early music scene in New York City was live streaming a duo called Intessa. It's two people playing the bass viol, and they were doing music from Armenian music to Baroque European music, and the one of them, the voice doing the singing, Lucine Musaelian, her voice was just out of this world. It reminded me of a young Judy Collins, which is a voice, so pure, so clear that it has been recognized all over the world for 50 years. That's Lucine Musaelian. And that was free of charge. So anyway, all of this was going on. Now, let's get to what you don't want to miss this weekend then. And I encourage you again to subscribe. All right. If you like blockbuster concertos, then the Berlin Philharmonic has one for you this Saturday. It's Ferruccio Busoni's so-called skyscraper concerto for piano, orchestra, and male choir. I don't know if you've ever heard a concerto like that before, but this is one. This is going to be on Saturday at 7 o'clock in the evening European time, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, and 10 o'clock on the West Coast. Now, this is not the first time this has been done. The conductor is Sakari Oramo, who is currently the chief conductor at the BBC Philharmonic, but previously he was with the Finnish Radio Symphony Orchestra and long affiliated also with the Stockholm Royal Phil, which I know very well because I spent a lot of time in Stockholm and spent a lot of time in my cheap seat in the back of the first balcony. We're friends of the artist, always said. And the pianist is Kirill Gerstein, who recently curated the Busoni and His World concert series at London's Wigmore Hall. It doesn't get any better than this, does it? And now the male choir is provided by the Rundfunk Corps, and they're also doing Debussy's Nocturne, which is based on a series of paintings by the American painter James Whistler. They were nighttime paintings, which he called Nocturne. I don't know if you knew that, but now you do. And there's a beautiful part for a women's chorus toward the end of it, and the Rundfunk Corps will lend its women's chorus to that. I'll mention one other thing about this concert. Busoni himself was at the keyboards in 1904 when the Berlin Phil first premiered this work. So now it's not free. It's going to cost you €9.90 or $11 US, but for a concert and for a concert that you have to pay for, it would cost you a lot more in person. And this is high quality music being performed by exactly the right people. Check it out. Maybe instead you like music about the sea. You know, things like, is it Debussy's La Mer? I always get confused as the La Mer. It's like Debussy or Ravel, because there's something majestic or hypnotic about it. Well, if that's what you like. Saturday evening is also your evening. The Detroit Symphony Orchestra is serving up a trio of pieces about the sea by Jean Sibelius, Benjamin Britten, and contemporary composer Anna Klein, who, by the way, is one of the top 10 composers performed in the world these days, according to Bach Track magazine. This is later in the day because it's in the US. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Daylight Time, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 2 a.m. European time. I guarantee you we're staying up late for this. It's free of charge. The Detroit Symphony Orchestra, my beloved DSO, is always free of charge. The specific program is Benjamin Britten's 4C interludes from Peter Grimes, Jean Sibelius's Lemminkäinen Suite, and the US premiere of Anna Klein's Time and Tides. This is a Nordic evening, an evening after my own heart. The Norwegian conductor Tabita Berglund is launching her tenure as principal guest conductor of the DSO for the next 4 years, Saturday, and she'll then be assuming a similar post simultaneously with the Dresdner Philharmonic next year. She'll also be conducting the Norwegian National Ballet in 12 performances of Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker this Christmas season. With her on the violin is Pekka Kuusisto, obviously Finnish background with a name like Kuusisto. He's the artistic director of the Norwegian Chamber Orchestra, and he's the principal guest conductor and artistic co-director of the Helsinki Philharmonic. I mean, how Nordic can you get, folks? Now, Klein herself has been commissioned and her works have been presented by top institutions around the world. The LA Phil, the Philharmonie de Paris, the San Francisco Ballet, the Cindy Opera House. She's covering the waterfront. They have opened the Edinburgh International Festival with her music. They have closed the last night of the proms with her music. The New York Philharmonic has opened its season with her music. So I'm telling you, this is a concert that you have no excuse not to turn into. It's free of charge if it's in any kind of time zone reasonable to you, including staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning in Europe to check this out. Okay. Enjoy. On Sunday, October 20th, if you're an opera lover, or if you're just curious and you want to find out about opera, but you don't want to spend $40 or $50 or euros to go into an opera house and that you're not comfortable with and find out about it, it's your lucky day. You can treat yourself to a free live stream of Rossini's Moses in Egypt, direct from the Pavarotti Opera House in Modena, Italy, with an accomplished Verdi and Rossini specialist. It's Michel Pertusi, the bass, in the role of Moses, and accompanied by, I have pictures of them. Where are the pictures of these two key singers? Here they are. It's Michel Pertusi, the bass, playing Moses, and in the role of Elsia is this lovely Aida Pascu. And Aida Pascu won the Young Artist or Young Performer of the Year award at this year's International Classic Music Awards. So I think this is a delightful pairing. Now, that will be at 3:30 in the afternoon European time, 9:30 in the morning on the East Coast, very early 6:30 on the West Coast, but if you're really curious, and 11:30 p.m. Australian summertime, which I think is still going on. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's free. This too is free of charge on YouTube. So I would encourage you to check it out. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you do so, if they have the comment section open on YouTube, do duck your head in there and say hello to Access Arts Live if you see us there. And if you don't see us there, at least say hello to the moderators of the chat box and say, hey, Access Arts Live brought me here for this. Well, that's what we have in terms of the big guns this weekend, the big big symphony and the opera. And now we can move on to all of the chamber music offerings that are going to be available to you. And we start out with one which brings you more Nordic musical influence this week, coming from Seattle, Washington. If you love Scandinavian spiritual music, as I do, it's one of the things that landed me living in Stockholm for a number of years now, for 2 decades, half time. Then Friday and Sunday, St. Mark's Cathedral in Seattle is live streaming Scandinavian church songs sung by Laura Loge. Who's Laura Loge? Well, she happens to be the artistic director of the Nordic Chamber Music Society in the state of Washington, and the founder and president of the Northwest Edvard Grieg Society as well. And she also did study Nordic art song at the University of Stavanger Conservatory in Norway, so she might know what she's singing about. So this is on Friday and on Sunday. On Friday, it's at 7:30 in the evening, Pacific Coast time, which is 10:30 in the evening on the East Coast. On Sunday, it's at 3 in the afternoon in Seattle, 6 o'clock in New York, and midnight in Europe. It's not a free concert. We give you the link to Eventbrite, where it will cost you $25 or 22 euros, or you can pay $20 if you're a student or a senior. She'll be singing ancient Norwegian stave toner, they're called, Swedish church arias, folk songs, hymns. There'll be Grieg, Buxtehude, Hovland, Gröndal, and others. If you want to immerse yourself really in that whole Scandinavian folk tradition, which is so rooted in the churches, this is your chance to do so. Enjoy. Now, there are some people who think that chamber music means chamber music, string quartets, sonatas, things like that, okay? If you're one of those people, and I'm not necessarily, but if you are one of those people, Saturday is your day again on October 19th, the People's Symphony Concerts Series in New York City, which for 125 years has been promoting concerts at reasonable prices so that the common folk can actually attend them. They will be live streaming the Takács Quartet, founded in Budapest 50 years ago, still going strong. And they'll be playing string quartets uniquely, Haydn, Britten, and Beethoven's Razumovsky Quartet. You can't get more chamber music-ish than that. Now, this is Saturday at 7:30 in the evening, New York time, 4:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast, LA time or Seattle, and 1:30 at night in Europe, late Saturday night. It's not free. The stream will cost you, they want you to pay $20, and then they'll give you the link to it. But if you really like high quality, it doesn't get more high quality than the Takács Quartet, founded at the Franz Liszt Music Institute 50 years ago, still going strong. And they've won more awards than I can count, for more albums than I can listen to. They're associate artists at London's Wigmore Hall, for example. And that means this year they'll be doing 4 concerts with works by Haydn, Britten, Beethoven, and Janáček, and 2 performances of Schubert's Cello Quintet with Adrian Brendel. So if you love really traditional, classic string quartets played in an intimate setting, you can't do better than this. I commend it to you, and I hope you check it out. But if you swing another way, and hold on a second, I failed to show you this, and I really meant to do so. I want to show you, this is the Takács Quartet in action. And I have a photo of Laura Loge as well. Okay. I want you to see these people as well, rather than just talk them at you. If you love the now of contemporary music, if you love music which is happening now and has never happened before, it's never going to happen again exactly the same way, because it's improvisational, performed by earnest, burning with passion young musicians. This is a great weekend for you. In fact, maybe every weekend is, so long as Constellation Chicago is live streaming. Now, they'll be live streaming on Saturday and Sunday nights this weekend. First, they'll be live streaming a group called KOHLMALLOZZIMAUNU, which I thought was some, curious Sanskrit word. It's not. It's Leah Cole, Lou Malazzi, and Peter Maunu. And Leah Cole's going to be playing cello, voice, and radios. Lou Malazzi's playing turntables, mixer, and microphones. And Peter Maunu's playing guitar and violin. So there's going to be music in there, but who knows what else. All three of these people are very much involved in improvisation. They do interactive work with other types of artists, like artistic installations and things like that. And that's what they're going to be doing on Saturday night in Chicago. If you like being now and have now happen to you, this is it. This is it. And I think, and do I have a picture of them for you? Actually, I don't have their picture. So all I can do is commend that to you. But I do have a picture of the next concert Sunday night. This is Alyssa Voth and Megan DiGiorgio. Let me put that, I want that picture to stay up there. Now, they're doing a concert Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. in Chicago, which is 9:30 on the East Coast and 6:30 on the West Coast. Too late in Europe. They're doing a concert called Something Stretched Between Us, in which these two young composers, Alyssa and Megan, are going to take each other's works and reimagine and perform each other's works, exploring what it means to really collaborate. And they'll be joined by a few other artists, among whom is one that I'm very fond of just from having read about them. It's this group. It's the Garden Unit, who describe themselves as musicians, educators, and plant enthusiasts. And not only that, but according to them, they are known as the premier experimental clarinet saxophone duo within a 5-block radius of Winnemac Park in Chicago. So how about that? Now, you can watch both of these concerts for free on YouTube. We're giving you the link to watch them on YouTube, but they ask you also to click on the other link we're giving you and go in and pay $7.22 in U.S. currency or $6.50 in euros. If you love music in the now, I can't say it enough. This is it. I commend it to you, and have a great time if you go. And look for us in the comment box if I'm able to stay up late enough to enjoy it and say hello. We live in a time where cultural identity and multicultural identity is becoming less and less of an exception and more a norm, especially in the arts. I mean, when I'm doing a discussion, when I'm telling our followers about, well, there's this great concert being done with the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra, and the conductor is a Finnish conductor, and they're playing all this Scandinavian music for New Zealand audiences, and you have conductors who have dual appointments in different countries, which is very common. And well, I live in 2 countries. I live between Paris and Stockholm. I love it. I don't want to give up either one. But anyway, multicultural identity is becoming a thing. And Sunday, October 20th, the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society is live streaming a concert which speaks to this issue in a very personal way and in a highly artistic way, and I think an intriguing way. The concert is called Broken Branches, and it's 2 artists. One is Karim Suleiman. Now, he's a Grammy Award-winning Lebanese-American tenor. You'll understand why I identify his heritage, who a few years ago won a Grammy for being the best the tenor vocalist of the year. And the other one is Sean Scheib, who describes himself as a Scottish guitarist on his website, but he's partly of Japanese ancestry. And this is key, because they're going to be exploring their multicultural identities. They're going to use everything from a 17th century lute to an Arabic oud to play, well, Purcell, Dowland, Caccini, Monteverdi. Hey, we all know that. But also Syed Darwish, Faruz Rose, and the Japanese, of course, the Japanese composer Takemitsu. We don't all know these things, and we don't all see how to bring them together, and these artists do. No, it's not a string quartet, but yes, it is chamber music. Yes, it is creation. And as they're doing this, they say they're going to explore the wood of the guitar and that of these other instruments like the lute and the oud. And at the same time, they'll explore what they call the splintering of history known as diaspora. In other words, the splintering of the wood of the family tree. It's on Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time, noon on the West Coast, 9 o'clock in the evening on the East Coast. Again, we give you the link to watch it for free on YouTube, but they will also give you the link to the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society website so that you can make a donation, pay what you wish is what they say, to help support this kind of programming. Last but not least, I just want to add on, we're over 20 minutes, but I don't want to miss this, okay? Don't forget the live streams of organ recitals. We have a full-length organ recital stream of our own telling you all the details, but it's Martin Schmading at the Bergamo International Organ Festival down in Bergamo, Italy on Friday night at 9 o'clock European time. It's Martin Green an hour later at 10 o'clock European time, which is 1 o'clock San Diego time, doing his weekly organ recital. It's Afonso Torres at 5 o'clock European time on Sunday, doing the St. Eustache Church weekly recital with a very French program. And finally, Brenda Portman doing a delightful, multifaceted, very, very contemporary-ish program at the Eccles Organ Festival in Salt Lake City at the Cathedral of the Madeleine. This is a great week. There's so much going on. I'm so happy there's so much going on. I want to encourage you one more time to subscribe to us on YouTube, especially, so you don't miss any of our live streams or other announcements that we're putting out. And remember, when you're enjoying a live stream, unlike a recording, there are living, breathing artists pouring their heart, minds, and souls in an act of love into the creation of truth and beauty to share with you, the rest of the audience, all together in real time. To me, that experience is precious. It takes us back to the origins of our civilization, out in the, in clearings in the jungles, where we'd be sitting around the fire and people would sing and people would dance. And this is how we came out of the woods and into the towns and civilized ourselves. I think that's so important. That's why Access Arts Live exists. So subscribe to us. If you see us on any of these YouTube broadcasts, do drop in and say hello, or just drop in in the comment section and tell the moderators in the comment section, hey, Access Arts Live sent us, because we'd love a little bit of recognition. Ciao for now. Have a great weekend, and may any of this lift you up and inspire you and make your life more rich and beautiful.